Welcome back to Langman Winery. We are building our winery, tasting room, and restaurant right here in our adopted home of Centerton, Arkansas. A couple weeks ago, we spent time with Adrian, the door guy, and saw these beautiful 8-foot high, 4-foot wide, 250-pound each front doors that we're gonna put into this building. We're gonna take the old entrance and put a brand new one right here. I wanna know, why can't I just cut through this building and put those doors in? There's a lot more to it. And we're gonna show you the magic of what happens in manufacturing right here in Arkansas. So now we're inside of the building, right back of me where the new front doors are gonna go. Why can't I just cut through this wall and cut through the steel and put the new doors in? Because this is an engineered metal building. What's the difference? There are no support poles in the inside of this structure, only these big ribs on the outside, but the other engineering part of it, so the building can't torque and you could resist winds up to 120 miles an hour plus, are the support structures, like these big cables back here. And then if we look up there, freestanding I-beams with other cables attached to those. All of that gives this building incredible integrity and longevity. And we're actually gonna go find out where that comes from. So we're at the global headquarters, and the only headquarters of Metal Building Supply right here in Gravette, Arkansas. Rolling beautiful hills, farmland, ranches, and then all at once, an amazing American manufacturing company and an American success story that's been here for more than a third of a century. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna go meet Jose Mendoza, Kyle, their head salesperson, and Christy, their head project manager. And they're gonna tell us how they take things that came out of the ground 6 months ago, a steel company turned it into coils of steel that they deliver here and turn it into buildings that'll last for 100 years. Let's go, Deb. So now we are at Metal Building Supply in Gravette, Arkansas. We're gonna find out why it's so important, how big of a job it's gonna be, and the quality of the building we're gonna put those brand new doors in. Joining me today is Jose Mendoza, the president of this company. Jose's been here for 20 plus years.
Yes, thank you.
Worked his way up all the way to be president. What I love, in this office, this is a working man's office. If this was a pristinely clean desk and you've got one little phone on it and nothing else, that means you have a boss. You don't have a leader. And when I come in here, I see the history of all the hard work that Jose and his whole team put together right in the middle of this beautiful part of Arkansas. Driving here, just beautiful rolling hills, ranches, farms, and it's only 15 minutes away from Centerton downtown and downtown Bentonville and downtown Rogers. But you're here in areas that haven't changed in 500 years. It's just beautiful. What you're doing in this little, probably 3-acre plot here is taking care of thousands of people for generations. That's the American dream. That's the Arkansan dream. That's why I love this so much. It's inspiring. So tell us how long you've been here, where'd you start, and what's the number one thing you guys are all known for here?
Sure. Metal Building Supply has been in business since 1989. Our name is Metal Building Supply, but we also roll form a lot of residential roofing. So we have a lot of the homes in the area that have metal roofing that will last 45 years and longer and look really good, along with some red iron structured beams as well. So we have a lot of buildings out there that will be there for a long time.
So how did this business get started?
So essentially we had some brothers that got into re-roofing some chicken houses that had some issues in 1989, and they decided the roofing business in the metal world is probably kind of lucrative, and let's go for it. And it really grew from just out of the back of a pickup truck to what you see today. We talk about it a lot. The second most important thing to us is that we provide a place where everybody wants to come to work.
That's nice.
The most important thing is that we do business right and stay in business and be here for a long time for everybody, but we really want to be a place people want to come and work.
Absolutely. We're doing the same thing at the winery. I did this, my corporate career, wanted to do that same thing. You don't see that enough. People think doing things like this are easy. It's not. It is a constant grind. But if the team is inspired, then they'll take care of the basics. What you're doing here is what we want to do at the winery.
Right.
And,
that's great.
If we get to that point, I'll be happy. But Jose, you're raising the bar really high for me, but it's something to shoot for.
We got to keep pushing. Yeah.
I really mean that. It's great. And then we're going to show you what we're going to be doing at the winery. A couple pictures here. And then we're going to talk about the manufacturing process. And don't move, okay? You can cut that last don't move over. Thank you.
So a common misconception is a lot of people think, where do you paint? Where are you doing the painting on like the metal coils? This is a bad one. This is like overflow weird stuff. We're gonna get to the good stuff here in a minute.
So let me stop you there.
Okay.
So we were looking at the building, and it's 10 years old, and up from a distance it looks great, but when you're 1 foot away from it, it looks like it's brand new. And I asked the same question. You paint. This is great paint. What are they using?
Yeah, it's cured in an oven, going about 600 feet a minute, and the ovens are let's say 400 degrees basically.
So these are like flat pieces of metal?
Yeah, this is a coil. So just think of like, the aluminum foil you get where you just pull some off, and this is coiled up. This is about 10,000 pounds. There's probably about 4,000 feet of material there.
Your only manufacturing building?
Correct. Our only location is in Gravette, and this is the red iron frame manufacturing site.
So this building, that's all the main support beams you make here.
Correct.
And
correct. What we call rigid frames or the frame line.
And so that's what's holding this up.
Correct. We're in a red iron
Your own building, and it looks like it's been around for decades.
Yes.
You obviously did a good job, but you're turning those flat pieces of metal out there into this, right in this building, huh?
Yes. Yeah, that's a finished one that's been cleaned and painted. This is one that's getting clips welded on that will go and get cleaned and painted.
Because these buildings, there's no support beams on the inside.
Correct.
Posts. So all this weight is being put down distributed to the building.
Correct.
And then how are you tying it all together so the building won't flex?
Sure. You got cable bracing. You have some flange braces. You got the purlin material that runs across. And then you also get some support with your sheets. Once you put your sheets on, you get some support there as well that helps that. But yeah, the majority of it is being designed to be loaded into the columns all the way down through into the slab.
So the big beams are the skeleton.
Correct.
And you've got the cross members and wires. That's like the cartilage.
Correct.
And then, and then you put on the metal sheets on the roof and on the sides. And then that's like your skin holding it up.
And we often call that our skin packets. A lot of times you talk about all the trim and the metal being the skin packet. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
This is remarkable. Now, how do we see the flat sheets turn into the skin?
Yes, that's our next stop. Yep.
How thick is that metal?
So that metal is 0.019.
Okay.
0.019, and is considered it. And then you use 26 gauge as kind of the generic description of it, but it specifically is a 0.019 in thickness. 26 gauge has a range, like a lot of things in steel, where you can say it has a range of thickness, but that's the spec we order.
From a civilian point of view, this is very intimidating.
Right.
Although I want to get one of these for my garage. I have no idea what I'm doing.
What are you gonna do with it? Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And so that coil has previously been used for this job they're getting ready to run. So that originally would have been, 9,200 pound coil and much larger, but this one's already been open, so we're using it for the next job that's to come up. So depending on what job they're running right now, they'll run some if it's for the roof, they might be running some 22-foot panels for each side if it's about a 40-foot wide building, depending on the pitch or something like that.
Oh.
And he'll get this loaded. This bow former was purchased in 1994.
Wow.
Yep.
They don't make them like they used to.
And we bought the top of the line because we planned on being here for a long time. So yeah, it's great. That's the goal.
So what's amazing, this coil of steel had to start in the ground somewhere. So a mining company had to mine it. A steel company had to turn it into steel into steel coils. You got to go pick it up. You bring it in here. You put it through this machine that you've had for 30 years, one of the best in the world, and it's been working like that for decades for you. Out the other side of that machine comes those panels.
Correct.
That Kyle has to sell the customers.
That's right.
And you got your support beams, your ties, all the other metal pieces to make it an engineered building.
Correct.
That your customers know are our finest product on the market. It's quite amazing that just that machine is not a finite thing in time. It has a legacy of production and value in America. And then the production on the other side and the value is going to become in the years and decades to come when those buildings can stand for farmers to use them, for manufacturers to use them, for schools to use them, and so forth. Right. Pretty darn cool.
So walking over this way to our trim department, a big part of, you'll see a lot of inventory, but a lot of that comes back to being able to turn orders in 2 days. We have to pre-make a lot of the stock things that are on every building. We can make a special trim, we can make whatever you can draw on paper, we pretty much can make it. And we do a lot of that as well, but to turn these orders as fast as we do, there's a lot of inventory in all these colors, first of all, and all the very common repeatable type stock items and things like that. Also, and so that's what you'll see here. You'll see a 21-foot folder or trim brake, depending on just what you want to call it. So we got orders coming in. The lead guy knows what to slit this metal down into a certain width. And so now this program knows, okay, set the stops at whatever it was, 3 inches, do a 90-degree bend. This is kind of, the drop is kind of the hardest part of this job right here. He's got this real flimsy, flat piece of metal.
Yep.
And he got it in there on there in the first try. Okay. I would probably have to go about 4 or 5 times before I get in there the first time. Yeah.
That's impressive.
And so now he's got a program loaded up on the machine that already knows what he's going to bid on into. And so it knows it's going to throw it up to 100 degrees to get a 95-degree bend.
But he still has to flip that thing around in the right order.
Oh yeah, he knows when to helicopter, when to flip, and when to rotate. Because otherwise you get the paint on the wrong side, you get the bend going the wrong direction. But now Johnny's going to do his drop. Nailed it. Good job, guys.
Impressive.
Yeah. Getting it done. They're making it, and that's a piece of valley, is what that is. So we're two roofs are dropping down on a roof line, and then the water's running down. That's going to catch. Wow. That goes under the panels, and they're making a valley, which is a pretty wide, and especially until they get some bends in it. That'd be an impossible move if they didn't have those bends in there already.
Oh yeah,
you got to get that.
It's amazing. I am not going to ask to try to do that because I still want to keep all my fingers.
Yes. Yeah. The other side of this too is the pieces of trim that are on every building. So now he's feeding what we'd call blanks through, and it's going to go through a rule because we couldn't keep up with a trim brake making as much J trim corners and ridge cap as what we typically sell. Wow. And you'll notice this will come out on this lane or aisle over here. A different product would come down in the middle and the different one over here. Much like the panels, but just doing it with trim. Quite a bit. And it's already been slit down to a specific size.
Sheesh. Man, the planning and everything else, the coordination.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. All the coils you see being processed here are a softer coil. So they're what's considered a grade 50 coil. Okay. So that they can take a 135-degree bend, or they can take a hem without getting a micro fracture or a crack. So we inventory 25 colors.
Wow.
We inventory in 2 different gauges, 29 gauge and 26 gauge material.
Yeah.
And we turn most orders in 2 days, cut to length. You order on Monday, we got it on a truck Wednesday.
It takes me longer to get my dry cleaning done. That's amazing. So you go from a roll of steel to a finished product in 2 days.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
We keep a lot of inventory so we can provide that service.
That's an inspired team, and that's at 36 years of history of everybody getting to this point. It's quite amazing. Whew, that's amazing. Until I get started.
Yeah.
So Kyle, this is really the end of your job, is when they put finished product on these trucks, and MBS, Metal Building Supply, delivers them to customers, no one else. Mm-hmm. So but before all that happens, and with the manufacturing, if things aren't being sold, then you're not going to have a business, right?
Correct.
Biggest thing for yourself is when you're talking to a customer, a prospective customer, what are the highlights you give about Metal Building Supply? And what I've seen so far today, the job is kind of easy because there's a lot to be proud of here.
So you always got to be price competitive. So you got to be in there, be competitive on price with our competitors. But the other 2 things are going to be the quality of the product and then the customer service that comes with it.
So with the quality, I've seen it through all the manufacturing today, the distinguishing characteristics of that versus some of the other people on the market?
Yeah, I mean, I think our slogan, large enough to serve and small enough to care, is a really good slogan.
Love that.
Yeah, I think that encompasses it very well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to say that is not a certified metal building supply driver in the truck there. Yeah, he's mad at me because I'm taunting him. And so, how far do you reach? I think the world should come here and buy this product.
So we've got 3 sales territories, 3 outside salesmen. We cover a North Territory, which is going to be all of Missouri and the northern part of Kansas.
Okay.
Our West Territory is going to be South Kansas, all of Oklahoma, and then a little bit into Texas.
Okay.
And then our South Territory is all of Arkansas and a little bit into Oklahoma and Texas.
So are people building homes, businesses, public buildings with these?
Yeah. Gymnasiums, barn-dominiums, as far as like residential. Hay barns, barn for your tractor, whatever.
Yeah. I don't have one of those.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna get a tractor so I can get a metal building on my property. Listen, continued success here. As I sell our wines, right?
Yeah.
And I'm proud of it. It's actually easy to sell because of the quality and the value. Mm-hmm. Your job is hard because you don't trust you a sales guy, get out of here, right? With the quality and the value you have here, it makes your job easier and you can be proud of what you're selling.
Certainly, I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure meeting. Thanks for all you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we're joining Christy Smith. She is the head project manager at Metal Building Supply. We saw what happens in the manufacturing, in the sales, in the transportation. Christy is the one who sits right in the middle of that for internally and externally facing to customers. She has to keep all the permutations that can possibly happen here, from size and design and color and support structure. And it's not just a sales process. It is truly an engineering process and a safety process and a quality process. And Christy has the unenviable job of keeping that straight with brand new customers or with customers who've been coming here for decades.
Yes.
So you know what we saw out there? We saw that the massive beams that they make and the buildings you have don't have poles on the inside. Because if you have poles on the inside, the weight of the roof is sitting on the poles.
Right.
You're taking that weight and spreading it out. It's like a rib cage, right?
Yes.
And then there are other things inside that are keeping that building from torquing.
Yes.
Because it's just a big square or rectangular building. So when
Correct.
you're talking to customers and with designs and questions and what they'd like to do, what are the biggest things you have to point out to new customers like us?
Determine if the building that you're going to build is going to be required to have an engineered stamp from an engineer.
What does that mean?
Basically, we are a pre-engineered metal building company. So our building software is designed by engineers. So the program, as we enter our inputs, it's designing it based on what the engineers say has to be done.
And so we were in the steel building to begin this video, and we said, hey, I just want to cut a hole here and put these brand new doors in here.
Yes.
I learned something. I called you several months ago because we're going to there's already a door in the building.
Correct.
But now we're going to put one in the middle.
Yes.
But all this other stuff in there, all the beams and the wires and the plates hanging out.
Yes.
And I said, can we just cut that hole? And you said, no, you got to do a couple other things first.
Yes. So what we'll have to do, because your building, I know, had to have an engineered stamp on it because of the city you're located in, we will have to do a preliminary design and we're going to duplicate the building we sold you basically in the program. We're going to put the door where you need it to go. We are then going to send that to our engineer and let him know this is an existing building that you've already stamped. We now need to put a door in it. And is there anything else that we need to change to make sure this door does not cause any structural issues? But once he gives us approval, then we'll just be ordering some materials for you to build a door jamb and a door header. And then your contractor will cut the opening into the building.
Wow. It's kind of, the whole thing is scary.
Yes,
it really
it is. Yes.
You look at it,
is my building going to fall when I cut a hole in it?
So I'm thinking it's like it's a chicken coop, but it's not. This is a real structure. It's a strong structure. It's meant to last decades, if not
Forever.
100 years. Yeah, exactly. It's quite amazing. So, we already have the existing building. We have our new 8-foot high, 4-foot each wide, 250-pound doors going in there.
Yes.
And we're going to put it right in the center of the building, right there. And we're going to cut through that metal, which is scary. Everything you just told me, you're going to help us. But it's still kind of scary for a civilian. And then when you back up and look at it, you have the original sign there. We'll have a new sign on the building. And And also, the blueprint will show you what that entrance looks like. And the awning right there, which is different than a canopy because the awning is more decorative, not a real big structural thing,
Right.
is right there. It exists like that, but now we're in the center of the building there. It's going to have a much bigger entrance. The awning will probably be about that size also, about 20 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make it another color. Give the building a little more color.
Correct.
It's nice. It was great for the mercantile store that was there, but now it's going to be a winery. I understand you have special paints here for your customers.
Yes, yes.
And are those them over there?
Yeah, these are our color chips.
So
all
what if we're looking for something like a wine-colored paint?
We have the burgundy, which would
Okay.
be a wine color. I'm not sure.
Come on in, Deb.
We have bright red, more of a barn red. Doesn't pop very good.
No.
No.
No, it's barn red.
No,
No,
no barn red?
Yep.
Okay. That it?
I think that's it.
Is that the choice? And then, something so as a guy, even with glasses, I'm blind. Looking at this, I could see that red color from the
Yeah,
street.
it's really
over
gonna
there.
pop.
It'll look really good with your door. Because your door.
Oh, yeah, the walnut door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our door. Part
Our
of the
door.
team. We're
It'll
part
look
of the
really
team.
good with your door.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
you'll
doing
see
that,
that from
man.
the
Just brilliant move, just like there. So simple.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going with that one,
This will be your.
and that
color.
is called
This is called bright red.
bright red, and it's got specific numbers. We'll get that paint, and that's gonna take care of the doors.
I'm excited to see. I'm excited
It
to
is.
see it.
It's gonna be for the community. We love it.
Yes.
And telling everybody it's amazing what's happened in this company. More than a third of a century old. I think those two brothers, if they saw where this has ended up today,
Oh yeah.
would be very proud.
Oh yeah. They
What a
would be.
legacy. Well, that's what we're doing with our business. It's going to be a legacy business and take it on to the next generation of
Yes.
the family. We're part of the community. We were only going to be here for 3 years. It's 15 years. We're not going anyplace else. It's because of very, very nice people like yourself. And
Yeah.
like Deborah and like Joshua.
Yes.
And I'm surprised you guys even let me stay around here.
Right.
So
Oh
we're
no,
happy.
no, we love people.
Well, you guys are professional and you're wonderful people. and I
Thank you
appreciate
very
that.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was Metal Building Supply right here in Gravette, Arkansas. Fascinating. Inside they do this work every day. It just seems second nature to them. But for civilians like us, what an education. Very impressive. American success story. And we were just honored that they took us through here and that our business is going to exist in a building that they built and should last for the next 100, 150 years. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep in mind with these videos early on, we're showing you the really business part of it and the production part of the foundational part about building a business from scratch like this. You have to be aware of this because this is the cost of entry into the business. We're gonna have more of the romantic side of the wine business coming down as we do all the foundational parts. And you'll see that as we'll get away from more of the big industrial type look to the videos and more into the romantic side of the videos and the quality of the wine and the vineyard process. So keep this in mind. This is a legacy for us. If you really want to help us, the algorithms in YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, go to the bottom, enter comments, enter questions. They love that. The algorithms love when you subscribe. The algorithms love when you like, and the algorithms love when you share. We want to spread this message around because the message is not just for the winery business or the restaurant business. It really is for any business. Because remember, you spend money dollars at a time, you earn money pennies at a time. And whatever business that you have your heart set on, we want to show you what we've learned over the years to make sure your business is successful today, tomorrow, and for your retirement, and maybe for the legacy of your family coming on the pipeline over the next 100 years. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe below. I'm Jim Langman. Let's go.